Mitsubishi has an arrangement to break out of its present gravity mode, amid which the brand's periodic sparkles of tense outline and execution-situated building have stayed in a profound sleep. The 2018 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross is the main product of that exertion, and it's planned to flag a course amendment toward an all the more convincing lineup. In light of a legitimate concern for survival, Mitsubishi chose a couple of years prior to stick its expectations on offering a steam while in the meantime betting everything on utility vehicles. In the event that non-SUVs other than the Mirage return in the lineup, they more likely than not will be as rebadged Nissans, on account of Mitsubishi's new union with Renault-Nissan. In the meantime, the new Eclipse Cross parts the size contrast between the bigger Outlander and the littler Outlander Sport and expects to be more athletic than either, and takes a gander at any rate. Its plan is driven by an indistinguishable outgoing ethos from the Toyota CHR and the Mazda CX-3, despite the fact that this Mitsubishi is a size bigger and unquestionably roomier inside than those models. Try not to let the splashy style or the way that Mitsubishi is utilizing the nameplate from its previous Roadster lead you too far off track, be that as it may. There's no game's auto gravitas to the Eclipse Cross, which Mitsubishi says is centered around styling and innovation. As per Nathan Berg, Senior Item Administrator for Mitsubishi Motors North America, the task was roused by a want to acquire vehicles the shape of the BMW X4 to the domain of standard hybrids. The Eclipse Cross truly offers to an entirely different attitude than the two Outlander models, someone who needs a vehicle that truly looks great before whatever else, he clarified. The Eclipse Cross is a mash-up of the front-end appearance of the brand's other minimized hybrids and an altogether extraordinary plan at the back knee that looks more athletic and dashing from a few edges yet busier from others. Inside, the dash has a divided, cockpit-style format with a great deal of brightwork. The driver interface has two highlights of uncommon note. Top trim levels incorporate a head-up show that conceals when it's not being utilized, and the infotainment framework in everything except the base ES incorporates a 7.0-inch tablet-like show that sits on the dash. The last backings both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and will feel right away instinctive to everything except the most unflinching Luddites, in spite of the fact that it does not have a straightforward volume handle. What won't feel as direct is the touchpad used to control the framework that is set into the inside support. It joins properties of Lexus trackpad and Audi's MMI framework. Less energizing than the styling, however, may be more vital is the new turbocharged 1.5-liter inline-four in the engine. Some portion of another motor family, it makes 152 strength at 5500 RPMs and 184 lb-ft of torque from 2000 to 3500 RPMs. The Euro-spec Eclipse Cross we rolled over the late spring had 9 more strength yet a similar torque figure. It's upbeat on an eating regimen of standard unleaded, in spite of the fact that EPA mileage evaluations are not yet accessible. The motor is smooth and sounds charming, pulling without objection from around 1500 RPMs and extremely waking up by 2500 RPMs in spite of the fact that it's futile to rev it past 5000, where the power trails off the motor redlines at 6000 RPMs. Moving the move lever over to one side into its manual door enables to secure one of 8 preset proportions, enabling you to keep the turbo on bubble and convey unconstrained endlessness guarantee as a substitution for a bigger, normally suctioned motor. However, left to its own particular gadgets, the constantly factor-programmed transmission CVT quiets the motor's sharpness and torque as opposed to displaying them. It's to a lesser degree a bummer in loose city cruising, insofar as you wouldn't fret the going with slurred revs. An eco mode catch additionally relaxes quickening agent inputs and enhances the CVT's unease in any endeavor to stay aware of speedier movement. Interstate driving draws out an eagerness in the transmission, as it raises the revs far higher than should be expected when tenderly including pace and chases around with its proportion decisions on slight tough evaluations. Curiously, Mitsubishi fits huge, fulfilling shift paddles deserving of a game's auto on the Eclipse Cross guiding segment, where they ought to be. Yank the left one entering a tight barrette turn and the revs rise apathetically, yet there's very little forward push when you get back on the quickening agent. Mass might be a piece of the issue. Mitsubishi's express weight for a completely stacked Eclipse Cross SELAWD 516 pounds s about 250 pounds heavier than the last Outlander Sport we tried, a 2.0 AWD demonstrate. Along these lines, we're not anticipating that this model should hack much on the off chance that anything from that vehicle's 9.5 second 0 to 60 mph time. Cheerfully, the Eclipse Cross track extraordinarily well and has exact directing. That is maybe an outgrowth of the work Mitsubishi has done to give this model more body solidness and unbending nature than it improved the situation the Outlander Sport. In any case, the consistent suspension in the restricted grasp from the 18-inch Bridgestone coupe low-moving protection elastic the tire for everything except base ES models, which get 16-inch Falcons joined to influence this hybrid to feel not as much as spry when tossed hard into corners. All adaptations of the Eclipse Cross, put something aside for the base ES, come standard with an all-wheel drive framework that Mitsubishi calls Super All-Wheel Control SAWC. As in the Outlander and the Outlander Sport, this framework utilizes an electronically controlled thick focus differential to balance the stream of torque between the front and back axles. The Eclipse Cross has open differentials front and back like the Outlander Sport, yet it includes more refined programming that uses the brakes to control torque stream between the left and right wheels. The Outlander, nonetheless, has a more nuanced framework that likewise finesses torque conveyance between the front wheels without requiring the brakes, rather utilizing a moment grasp pack. The all-wheel drive and solidness control frameworks in the Eclipse Cross likewise have gravel and snow modes, and ground freedom on AWD models is a liberal 8.5 inches, yet going 4x4 romping isn't planned to be a center competency. The Eclipse Cross doesn't overlook anything as far as seating space and load conveying common sense. The 64T split collapsing back seat slides fore and rearward through almost 8 crawls of movement to allot space between race legroom and baggage limit, and the rake of the back seat back is flexible. There's sufficient headroom for grown-ups in back, however it can be somewhat confined for 3 inhabitants. We'll nitpick that the payload floor is very high, the back seat backs don't exactly overlay level, and a cover for the load territory is a merchant adornment. As much as Mitsubishi might want the Eclipse Cross to stamp a defining moment in the brand's improvement, one of its head offering recommendations is an incentive for cash. Everything except the base ES trim level incorporate all-wheel drive. That model begins at $24,290, with all-wheel drive a $600 alternative. The LE Demonstrate $25,890 gets appearance redesigns and the touchpad infotainment framework. The SE $27,390 includes amenities like warm front seats, and SEL models $28,890 accompany calfskin and the head-up show. We drove a $31,390 top-level SEL furnished with a touring bundle, which heaps on versatile voyage control, forward crash cautioning, path takeoff cautioning, warmed back seats, a warm guiding wheel, an exceptional sound framework, and a double-sheet all-encompassing sunroof. The brand's 10-year guarantee on powertrain parts stays another esteem offering point. What's more, another arrangement of telematics administrations called Mitsubishi Connect will influence its introduction in the Eclipse Cross, offering a whatever-you-can-deal-with smorgasbord of availability, including remote atmosphere control preconditioning, an auto discoverer, parental controls, programmed impact notice, and crisis help. Other than being application-based, it can be combined with Amazon Alexa gadgets and the Google Assistant. The initial 2 years are free. After that it's $99 every year. We're happy to see indications of life at Mitsubishi, and the Eclipse Cross is without a doubt a superior market suggestion if not as energizing how would be an Eclipse car. In spite of the fact that this hybrid is a not-too-bad advance on the way back to importance, we trust the brand's arrangement incorporates models that have a greater amount of the resourcefulness and driving joy for which Mitsubishi was once known.